Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Taylor Hayes recaptured knowledge and wouldn't let Ridge Forrester call for an ambulance. Taylor tried to make defenses for her conking spell, but Ridge could tell commodity more serious was going on. Nonetheless, Taylor refused to go to the sanitarium and didn't want Ridge telling Steffi Forrester about this since it would upset her. After Ridge quizzed Taylor a bit more, she admitted she spoke to a croaker. In Europe, Taylor confessed that she had heart failure and that she didn't have long to live, so Ridge was stupefied. John Finnegan formerly again reminded Steffi that he only had eyes for her, so there was no need to worry about Hope Logan. Once Eric Forrester arrived, Steffi talked to him about Taylor's homecoming and the positive effect on Ridge. From Steffi's perspective, Ridge and Taylor had an unbreakable bond, so she made a vaticination about them being connected until their last breath. Finn allowed. Taylor's return had been good for Steffi too, so she said she no way wanted to be piecemeal from her mama ever again. In the design office at Forrester Creations, Hope agreed to suppose about Carter Walton's idea of her modeling lingerie and continued their collective flirting. Although Carter and Hope bandied how office loves were cursed, it still sounded like B&B was laying the route for them to get together. Hope looked a bit flustered as she got tangled up with Carter when they reached for the same thing. At Il Giardino, Will Spencer arrived with Katie Logan for lunch, which led to a discussion about his passions regarding Bill Spencer still. Will claimed she shouldn't do it because of him, if Katie was indeed allowing about taking Bill back. Although Will claimed he was still angry with Bill, Katie could tell their relationship was strained. There were corridor of Bill that Will admired, but Will didn't like how his pater treated Katie and allowed she'd exfoliate too numerous gashes over her partner. At some point, Will allowed. Enough had to be enough. It was hard for Will to look at Bill the same because of his conduct, but he assured Katie that he wasn't holding a grudge. Katie was glad that Will got some effects off his casket and felt comfortable opening up to her. When Will gave Katie updates on his decision to transfer seminaries and stay in Los Angeles, she was thrilled. Will and Bill could have further conflict ahead due to Will's forthcoming job at Forrester Creations, so stay tuned to see how that news will affect them. Ridge Forrester will struggle to reuse the news that Taylor Hayes just delivered. Taylor confessed she has heart failure and that she doesn't have long to live, so Ridge's own heart will break at the study of losing her ever. It wouldn't take long for Ridge to decide he just can't accept that. Ridge will refuse to believe Taylor's opinion, at least not until she gets an alternate opinion. Taylor isn't seen an factual cardiologist yet, so Ridge will feel like there's still a chance her croaker in Europe was wrong. Whatever the case, Ridge wouldn't be suitable to handle the idea of Taylor's demise, so he'll prompt her not to give up on her future. Steffi Forrester will come decreasingly fixated on the notion of her parents getting back together. Steffi has pledged not to play matchmaker, but she still hopes Ridge and Taylor will find their way back to each other. As far as Steffi's concerned, Taylor and Ridge have a glamorous pull that always puts them back in each other's route. Now that Taylor is in Los Angeles again, Steffi will be induced that Ridge and Taylor's reunion could be on the horizon. Steffi will drop some hints on Tuesday's occasion and maybe suggest fortune isn't as important on Brooke's side as she thinks. Brooke wouldn't appreciate Steffi's commentary and may snap at her as she offers a harsh memorial. Ridge is committed to Brooke, so she'll suppose that should count for commodity. Brooke will feel confident in the bond she has with Ridge, but Steffi wouldn't suppose it's wise to ignore the deep connection between her pater and Taylor. Now that Taylor has filled Ridge in on her medical fire, his attention is each on her. That could work to Taylor's advantage when it comes to potentially winning Ridge back, but her health extremity will come with some twists and turns soon. Our prognostications suggest Brooke, Ridge and Taylor's love triangle could come back in full force, so we'll bring you updates on what's ahead for these three. Brooke's confidence in Ridge's commitment could be shaken ultimately, so stay tuned. Ridge Forrester to roll over Taylor Hayes stunner. Meanwhile, Brooke Logan reminds Steffi Forrester Finnegan who Ridge is committed to. Keep reading to find out what's coming up in the coming occasion of the CBS Cleaner Pieces. Ridge will be in unbelief over Taylor's stunner. After passing out after the Brooks' bedroom photo shoot, Ridge demanded answers from Taylor. Ridge wanted to get Taylor checked out at the sanitarium, but she refused. Eventually, Taylor had to tell Ridge the verity, as he wasn't letting it go. Eventually, at the end of Monday's occasion, Taylor told Ridge that she was dying of heart failure. In addition to that, Taylor told Ridge that she doesn't have important time left. Taylor's admission. Ridge will want to know all the details. When Taylor admits she hasn't gone for any testing, Ridge will presumably push for her to get it done. In fact, Ridge might indeed suggest Taylor get an alternate opinion. In the meantime, Taylor will supplicate Ridge not to tell Steffi. While Ridge might understand Taylor's sense, he just went through an analogous situation with Eric. So, would Ridge really keep this from Steffi? Steffi seems hung up with getting her parents back together. Despite Ridge being in a relationship and engaged to Brooke Logan, Steffi is still fixated on Tridge. Indeed, Taylor has told Steffi multiple times that she's content with effects the way they are. Besides the secret heart failure, of course. Lee Finnegan, hearing about Taylor's collapse. Maybe Taylor tells Ridge that Lee knows, or perhaps the good croaker finds out another way. Still, anticipate Lee to really push Taylor to call those specialists and get some tests done. Lee will also encourage Taylor to tell her family the verity. While Ridge knows, it's important that Taylor's children are apprehensive, especially since Thomas Forrester is still in Paris. Still, he'd want to spend every nanosecond he could with her, if Thomas knew his mama was dying. So, where does Thomas fall into this equation, and what will be the outgrowth? Taylor Hayes lately confessed to Ridge Forrester that she saw him in Monaco. Taylor says she didn't approach Ridge because he was on a romantic trip with Brooke Logan. Taylor told Ridge she had an appointment she couldn't miss there. Still, Taylor didn't elaborate on the appointment information. Taylor could have had a number of movables, but what could there be that she couldn't miss? Taylor strangely mentioned that vids can only do so important for a heart, leading suckers to wonder if she could have been there to see a heart croaker herself. Taylor also lately mentioned that she couldn't stay to see her dead son again. Taylor seems to be intimating that she could be terminally ill, but she hasn't exactly said the words. Could there be commodity seriously wrong that urged Taylor to go to Monaco and also return home to Los Angeles to be near family? Taylor's commentary make you wonder if there could be more admissions on the way. After all, Taylor seems to be reflecting on her life and indeed certain regrets. Taylor knows that Ridge chose to be with Brooke, but she's confessing that she loves him and he'll always be the love of her life. Taylor nearly seems to be making a plea for Ridge to return to her. Could Taylor sweat that she doesn't have important time and want to make sure Ridge knows how she feels before commodity happens to her? Surely Taylor isn't that shook up by Steffi's fire. After all, Taylor was formerly back in LA when Steffi went missing. Is Taylor simply saying what's on her mind because one no way knows what hereafter brings? Taylor Hayes' heart's desire. Ridge is happy that Taylor is home and wants her to stay there. In Ridge's mind, Taylor and Brooke can be a part of the same family, and that's how he sees them. Still, if commodity is truly wrong with Taylor, could Ridge put off a future with Brooke to make Taylor's dying want come true? Would Ridge anticipate Brooke to understand his conduct? Ridge is much nearer to Taylor than utmost significant others would agree with. Still, Ridge obviously expects Brooke to go on with him and Taylor being close. Brooke says she isn't bothered by this. How snappily could Brooke's passions change if Ridge suddenly wants to be with Taylor in her final days? Could Taylor fake being sick to come between Ridge and Brooke?